Hello everyone. I just wanted to record a rather short video, at least to my standards, and present you some new small research which I've done recently and which gave quite strange results, in fact quite shocking numbers. I will explain you the method. From the beginning I would like to tell that whatever I do, there are always a group of people who are trying to give arguments why it is wrong. We will not talk about arguments like you don't understand anything, you're a salty old man. These arguments deleted immediately because it just doesn't make any sense. But so-called arguments which, when they really want to tell at least something, to confront my researches, then what are the arguments usually? One of it is you are cherry picking, which is ridiculous. It can be, but in my researches I'm never cherry picking. I will explain you why. Then what else? That it can happen. This guy is a strong player. Well, of course, strong player. Everybody who is performing well on chess.com, they are strong players for sure. But there are limits of being a strong player. Let's say Magnus Carlsen, of course, is an amazing player. Nobody argues with it. But if he would, let's say, score in a match of 20 games against Maxim Vachier-Lagrave, let's say 19-1, it would also be suspicious. Even though he's very strong, but there are some limits of being strong, mathematical, if you want, limits. So that's simply not serious. So I would like everyone, okay, you might agree with me, disagree with me, but please, when you give arguments, please try to give more or less serious arguments, at least, which make sense, because 90 plus percent of arguments which the opposite side, so to say, people with opposite opinion are given, it just doesn't make much sense, and I am tired of refuting it and always telling the same thing. So okay, why there is no cherry picking? Because how does it work? When you are trying to make certain research, okay, there is vast amount of players, vast amount of games. You have to have a certain certain hypothesis, certain idea, and then you are trying to check this idea. So, and I will explain you now about this new research. What is the idea behind? My idea, my concept is that I have a strong feeling. And I want to check it. I wanted just to check this hypothesis that there are like touchables and untouchables on chess.com among strong players, among top players, and definitely Hikaru and Magnus are untouchables. According to this hypothesis. It doesn't mean they are fantastic players. They are the best two players probably, on the platform. But still, the results is like 2 times better than others, and that is not their fault. It maybe means that people just afraid to cheat against them, and maybe they cheat because how else to explain such a big gap when you will see now in this research that actually when they play, let's say especially Hikaru plays against other top players, you don't really see such a gap, but in results altogether the gap is huge. So that is a hypothesis. Maybe some other players also, not only Hikaru and Magnus, but and that makes it a kind of that makes it a little bit me wonder what is going on the platform. If this is the case. So I wanted just to check this hypothesis, and so what I wanted to and there is a number of players who are never playing really, or very little playing offline, whether they never really showed any result ever, OTB. And again, by the way, another argument, so to say, is that online chess and offline chess are two different disciplines, nothing in common. Come on, don't, I don't know, you must really be not too familiar with chess to tell this. I mean, of course, online is a little different game, and some players can be a bit better online than offline. But you cannot be, beat all best players in the world online and not to be one of them. It is just not possible. I mean, you must be playing on this level, because everybody is fine with a mouse nowadays, and all the top players are very experienced also playing online. I mean, then they say motivation. No, come on. I mean, motivation is the same. You play million title Tuesdays. Of course, you are not like terribly motivated, but nobody is, yeah. So I mean, but also when you play any professional, top level professional play, he doesn't want to lose. So it's not like he's just doesn't care. No. When you play, it's a habit. Yeah, it's just like it's a core of you. When you play chess, you care, especially when it's public. People watch it. So okay, please don't give these arguments. I know myself. Okay, I don't care much, but still, when I at least start to play, I kind of try to concentrate, and I'm kind of caring a bit, yeah, because even though I'm not professional player anymore, it's just in your blood. If you have been on the top, that you don't want to lose, you want to perform well, even if it doesn't matter much. So that all those elements, mouse skills, somebody has a little better, somebody a bit worse, but and then this mysterious motivation. For some reason, some players supposed to have 10 times better motivation than others. No, this is all not right. I mean, this is not true. I mean, this cannot be an explanation. It's just the way to explain unexplainable, to give at least some arguments, yeah. But there is a Occam rather, yeah, very very well known principle, which goes more or less that among different hypotheses, if there is one, the most convenient, the most logical, and there are no kind of things which directly refute it or contradict directly, then you have to take this hypothesis as the main one. Because why to invent a very strange, unprovable, very dubious hypothesis to explain something which can be explained in the most logical, common sense way? So that is the Occam rather principle, and according to this principle, I'm sorry, it's quite difficult. It seems like the hypothesis that there is quite a considerable cheating going on chess.com, unfortunately, even among the very top level. I mean, playing for money. Not very, maybe top, not, but still, I mean, in the money events, and there are maybe people who are making money there with unfair play. This hypothesis, again, I want to tell again, of course, I will be immediately, there will be many people who will tell I'm accusing this. And I mean, I'm not accusing, I'm telling that this hypothesis is the most, by far, in my opinion, most probable among others, but it has to be checked further. And I will explain, I will prove now why this is the case. So my concept is, what I wanted to try to do. There are, let's say, three groups. I shared into three groups. I shared it completely objectively. I mean, just like everybody in this group. So let's say there is a group of extremely strong top players who are untouchable. I put there, let's say, Hikaru, Magnus. Yeah, maybe there are more, but they are in, let's say, according to this hypothesis, they are for sure untouchables. Not like they cannot lose a single game, but I mean, still. And then there is a group of extremely strong players who are very close to their level, like top players who are proven to be OTB, over the board. Extremely strong Blitz players who are taking prizes, even becoming world champion in Blitz or one of the top 5 places. And at the same time, very well known to be a very, very strong classical player. So and who are playing pretty often on chess.com. So I think I collected all of such players. Not that I was picking somebody, maybe I forgot someone, but I think all of these very, very established strong players are in this pool. It is the second group. And the third group are the players who are competing extremely well on equal terms with this second group online, but somehow offline they never really showed anything, or they don't play or whatever. Yeah, their rating is lower, both blitz and also classical. So the players who for some reason only perform online. So those are three groups. And what I wanted to see, I was checking especially, so first those third group of those online players, I mean only just online performance. How do they play against the second group and the first group? In the first group, okay, I didn't check really Magnus because he has much less games actually. Yeah, I was checking how do they perform against Hikaru Nakamura and how do they perform against this group. So the second group, in the third group, I will not tell you names because there are some okay, you all know those people who are like performing extremely well only online, but there are some very strange numbers. So I just, my idea is not to blame anyone, but for Chess.com to really consider it and check it, because I don't understand how those numbers can come up, but they are objective. Yeah, it's true. Those are true numbers. So, but before they check, I don't want to call names because again, my idea is not to blame anyone, but just to just to show you that okay, it seems to me that Chess.com is not doing well their job. I mean, and I have zero doubt that they are not going to react on this video as well, but at least that will be quite telling, and at least for all of you who are listening to this, you would, you know, raise questions why they are not reacting on it. So the second group, so established top players, which everybody knows, they are top blitz players in all formats. So I mean online, offline. So I took Aranyan, Grishuk, Dubov, Fedoseev, Nepomniachtchi, Wesley So, Fabiano Caruana, Duda, Firuza. I think, let's say I didn't take Maxim Vachier-Lagrave because I think, even if though, of course, he's a completely fair person and playing fair, but it's possible that I have a feeling that many people consider him as an untouchable, even though I'm not sure he is, but okay, because he is not, those guys which I mentioned are obviously untouchable, this is clear, they don't have any kind of strange performances, or I mean strange people who are like losing all the time against them, they just don't have it. Yeah, others they have from time to time, but anyways, this is a questionable thing, maybe to include Maxim or not to include. It wouldn't change that much anyways, it wouldn't change dramatically the statistics, but I decided for the sake of you know, like being sure, because not to include him in the second group. But okay, if you want, you can check it yourself and include him in the same and check how it will change. So I was just taking only these safe guys, safe in the sense that they're for sure, nobody considers them like the untouchable. Yeah, again, it's my hypothesis, but you will see now the numbers are so strange that it seems like this hypothesis is very, very serious. Yeah. So this is a group. So you would agree that all those players are fantastic players, very top players. I mean, was showing it, and okay, let's say scoring well against them is especially in quite a big number of games. You cannot manage it simply because there are many. Yeah, I mean, if you score like 50% against them in 30 games or something, you are on the same level. I'm sorry. I mean, you cannot just be a much weaker player or even somewhat weaker and score like plus against them. Yeah, in many games. This is just common sense. I mean, a knowledge of chess, and it means at the same time, then it means that you are one of top 10 players. Yeah. I mean, that is just common logics. And let's see. And then, for example, I want to tell you example. Well, definitely Hikaru Nakamura is a top 10 player. I mean, at least, yeah, for sure. So against this group, and again, I was not picking it. I just took everyone who is established, yeah. And then I realized, I started to check every player. And for example, Hikaru Nakamura, I was taking title Tuesdays since 2023, so a bit more than a year. And okay, what is the performance of Hikaru Nakamura against this group of players? He had played 43 games against, so as a considerable amount. I mean, you can judge something by 43 games of one player in different days, different situations. And he won 13, 16 draws, and he lost 14. So he's -1 against this group, which means that this group is very close to his level. Yeah, it's a really, really top guys. I mean, there is a clear proof. I mean, Nakamura is second best in chess.com, and we all know he's very strong. I mean, so okay, how come that if they would be not good enough or bad with mouse or whatever, they wouldn't score +1 against Nakamura? I mean, and so okay, that is a clear proof how strong is this group. And okay, then I took quite a number, like 10 players, this kind of online performers, and checked the performance against both Hikaru and this second group. And okay, most of them are of course in minus. Yeah, I mean it's logical because this group is like best players in the world, besides Hikaru and Magnus, of course, and Maxim, but they're like best, clearly, yeah, best top 10 players. But I found three players. Again, I don't want to call names before it will be examined further, which will not happen, of course. I know it already because I've already done a lot of researches like this, and never any attention was paid. I mean, nobody contacted me from chess.com, or yeah, I'm not aware of anything done on this. So, but this is like, the numbers are very strange because there are three players among those online performance, as I call them, who has a plus, actually a plus score against this group. And I can tell you some, they have very serious plus. For example, I mean, those three players in total they played a lot of games actually with this group. They've played, let me see, 87 games altogether. So, I mean, you can tell something, yeah, you can measure something by 87 games. And these three players has a total record against those 9 top players, which is 40 wins, 25 losses, 22 draws. So plus 15. I mean, yeah, you see that Hikaru played 43 games, half of it he is -1. They have plus 15. So so performances are like this. So one player has 11 wins, 10 losses, 7 draws. Another one has 9 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws, +6. +1, +6, and another yet player, online performer. Well, average rating of these three guys is, I think, below 2650, by the way. I mean, FIDE. And the third player is having just an amazing performance, 17 wins, 9 losses, 10 draws. Well, I mean, against the very, very best players in the world. Can happen, maybe. Very unlikely. Even Magnus has a worse score against this group. I mean, I think he has like 15 wins, 9 losses, and some draws. I mean, but still worse than this other player. But for sure, you cannot be not completely top player if you perform like this against this group. 9 best top players. So, okay, this is already, and you perform much better than Hikaru Nakamura against those players. So there is no doubt you must be a very top blitz player. Yeah, because again, the games were played in different days, different situations. So no reason to think that it's not, you know, there might be some factors which can be important, non-chess factors which can influence the result. No, I'm sorry, but well, it's just what it means, yeah, that you are one of those players, you are one of top players. But at the same time, then I checked exactly these three players, how do they perform against Hikaru Nakamura. I mean, and then things are getting funny. I mean, it's already kind of funny. Yes, so I will tell you. Hikaru, again, to repeat, Hikaru Nakamura, again, this group of very top players, but not untouchable. 43 games, -1 in 43 games. This group, 3 players, against the same group, same event, same time, I mean, same period of time, 87 games, +15. Okay, and now we close the triangle. The score of these 3 players who are performing incredible, beating like top players, you know, with big plus in a big amount of game. How do they do against Hikaru Nakamura? In the same event, same time, again, yeah, all the same. They have played 32 games, 3 of them against Hikaru Nakamura. And what is the performance? Guess. They won 1 game, 6 draws, and lost 25 games. How does it work? I mean, can you explain me? How can you explain this? Those people are stably, you know, in a long period of time, beating very, very top players. Those very group of top players, those group of top players in a long amount of games are playing on equal terms with Hikaru Nakamura. Yeah, and these 3 guys are just losing almost every game against Hikaru. Just like, you know, 25 losses, 1 draw, 1 win, 6 draws. I mean, does it is it not like dubious or something is really strange there? I mean, okay, I'm just trying, I mean, try to be objective, try to be unbiased, and I just don't get it. How is it possible? I'm experienced chess player. I know what should be your level to perform against these top players, you know, big plus in 80 something games. And this is not the level where you cannot score, actually you score just, well, what, 4 points out of 32 against another extremely strong, but still, you know, you just have to score more points, much more points. So, I mean, that's one of many researches which I've done, which just shows to me very clearly that something is quite wrong. And I mean, it's very dubious, those numbers. And again, not cherry picking, don't stop writing the same thing, cherry picking, this and that. You don't understand in statistics, in mathematics. Okay, just argument. What is wrong with this research? Because there is nothing wrong. I mean, if you're unbiased and logical person, you understand, okay, this has to be very seriously checked and very urgently. Because, and we have to be informed by Chess.com why it is fine, why it's kind of normal, because it's very obvious that it's not normal. I mean that it has to be checked deeper. And of course, again, I will tell we will not be informed as usual, and that is why I continue my project is trying, if you want, if I may tell it, trying to force Chess.com to do what they have to do, what they claim that they have to do is to take serious anti-cheating measures and inform players and all the public about the results of the researches. But for that you need first to make these researches, yeah, which I have my doubts they really do. So I'm sorry, but that is a extremely alarming statistic, one of many which I've presented already. And I think if Chess.com doesn't react on it, doesn't keep silent as they did on my researches, for example, concerning the last round of Title Tuesday, you can see it on Levitov Chess YouTube channel. For instance, well, it just, for me personally, it would make it very clear what are their real intentions and how do they treat cheating online on their platform. I mean, I'm sorry, but I think that my message is clear, my numbers are clear, the method is straight, fair and square, and okay. I just wanted to inform you about it because, well, I found it quite shocking, those numbers. Thank you.